Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, how dare you, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Felis Mengus, Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Playing Poem, Vitali Z, Colton James, Survive the Spin, F.E. Patriot, Thomas van der Zander, Measured Flat, Mere in the Shire, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, JMails24, Unimento, Iron26, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Hairy Blade, Mobile Mac 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Young Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Links to Patreon are below this video. With that, I'll hand across to whoever is in the Discord server, our new Discord server, Flipside with Divergent Droid, and G+, so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
How's it going, Discord?
There's only a couple of people in there. Blood's Thicker, Vitali Z, hey Vitali Z, and you. You know, you'll cause feedback if you're in there, Neil.
Good morning,
Even if
gentlemen.
I'm on mute?
Thanks for the
I'm
sound
what's
check.
it called? I'm in the basement right now, so I'll be on mute.
Well, I'm just grateful that you said something. It means I know that the system's working correctly, as this is only the second day we've used this server. Glad that it's working, though. I'll tell you that. Very pleased.
So
yeah,
if
no, I just have
sit in there
terrible
on-
service down here.
Oh, you sound really clear. Thank you for your
I'm
support.
holding my phone next to a window. I'm wiring a boiler down here, so I got my phone by the window, and I'm over here across the room. So, like I said, I'll be listening, guys.
Perfect. For the sound check and for all the support.
So if I just sit in there on mute, I'll cause feedback?
Not if you sat there on mute, but if you accidentally come off mute because you get a phone call and suddenly your Discord line opens itself up, then yeah, you will.
I see. All right, let me get out of there.
You are already out of there by the looks of things. Removed yourself accidentally. Now you're back in there. You there, Neil?
Yeah, I'm just in Teams now.
Get my little excerpt from today's writing session?
You know I'm always game. Shoot.
No, I already sent it to you. I don't necessarily want to read it out. Have you not read it, I take it?
No, but I'll go read it now.
Go read it and you'll know why I won't want to read it out necessarily now. I'll leave it for the book. For the people to read in the book. I thought you'd enjoy it. It's about one of my former editors. Yeah, rather than my protestations being, I can't believe how stupid this guy is. But, well, I mean, I've got no obligation to these people anymore. So I'll just write about it. The idiocy, the level of stupidity being absolutely off the chain. I thought, well, let's write about that. You know, you can't make up what's going on currently. And it is interesting, to say the least, especially given the circumstances of one of my former editors and the precarious position he finds himself in. Not that he knows that. That's the problem when you're a drinker. You forget what you've said and how self-incriminating it is. I watch a YouTuber called Bruce Rivers, and Bruce Rivers' motto is "Stop self-snitching." By self-snitching, it means confessing to the crimes that you've committed. I don't know, on a recording of a book editing session, for example. You know, that kind of thing can get you in a lot of trouble.
Ooh, oh boy. And I didn't know it was Riley's dog.
Yeah, it was, yeah. But without being too specific, so that it's left vague on this recording, can you believe the level of stupidity? I mean, seriously.
No, that's what always shocked. That's what's shocking me to this point. Like, I thought they were two intelligent guys, but they're acting very stupidly right now.
Yeah, given that Adam could face potential jail time and lose everything he owns, you'd think he'd be a bit more careful about the words he uses in recordings that he's now demanding I publish. I mean, you can't really make this stuff up, hence it's great for a chapter of my book, now that I'm under absolutely no obligation to protect this complete muppet.
You see, I was trying to explain this to Brian because he's still here, right? And he's pointing to the recording, and he's trying to say that Adam was trying to save face for you because Brian and myself were joking around about you being, an absentee landlord, which I got to listen back because I don't remember that part. I do know I joked about it here and there, but I didn't do it too often, especially after that whole thing with Ranty, because I knew like this could cause a problem.
Absentee
Right? And I was
landlord,
right.
as in guy who owns the building and has a tenant who decorates and says, I want to be on the deeds.
Yeah.
I've put so
Yeah,
much work
exactly.
into the decoration of this. I want to be on the deeds. Really, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kick you out unceremoniously onto the streets and take your keys off you. How about that? No, I deserve to own this building. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, and that's what I said to him. I said, Brian, I'm not even talking about copyright or anything like that. I'm talking about how their own words condemn them.
Not just condemn them, could land them in jail. Idiots.
And to me, that was weak. That was so weak. I'm trying to save face and trying to get your attention. No, you weren't. You were speaking from your heart right there because you were drunk and you were rambling and you were saying the truth that you wanted to help and it was an honor for you to help. Somehow that changed.
I see. So what was explicitly detailed as him helping me has now turned into, no, I was just saving face. Really? Yeah, it's a shame.
Exactly.
You see, words have meanings, and when you explicitly detail how you're helping somebody and then a month later turn around and say, oh, no, actually, I want a chunk. Yeah, people just think you're a scumbag. That's what happens. Because you're a deceitful, dishonest, disingenuous scumbag who said one thing when you actually meant another a month later.
Yeah, and what's troubling is Brian bought that line. I'm like, are you serious, Brian? You
Yep.
really buying that line that he was trying to freaking stir something up in you, meaning Nathan? Wow. Could tell you anything at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you expect from a man who, quote, my book's about housekeeping, end quote, followed by, my book's not about housekeeping. What, you mean it's not about my intellectual property that I own, Brian? Better not be, because I want 90% of my name on the front cover, because that is actually mine. I do own the intellectual property to my own story, my own show, and everything that takes place on it. That's mine. Shocking, isn't it, Brian? Yeah? When you lie, like, I'm writing a book about the housekeeping questions, end quote, Brian, and then when asked 6 months later, is it about housekeeping, you say no, yeah, that makes you a liar. A demonstrable, provable liar. And liars will lie and be taken in by other liars, won't they?
Yes, and I even brought up that time when I was talking to you and I said, I can't wait for Brian's book to come out. And you stopped the recording and reprimanded me. I said, you don't even realize that, do you, Brian? If he's such an enemy of yours and knifed you in the back, why did he stop a video? And he never stops a video to reprimand me and say, what are you doing? Brian doesn't want this out. You forget about those things.
Yeah, Brian expects me to believe that he perceived me to have been stabbing him back in July in the back, but simultaneously expects me to believe that he was my oh-so-friendly representative in November. Like, no. If you perceive that I've stabbed you in the back in July, then how can I be expected to believe that you were working in my best interest in November? You already felt like you'd been wronged by me. But what I'm supposed to expect that you're some neutral representative that's unappointed and unasked for? No, you're just a little bitch, a lying bitch at that. What's that? My book's about the housekeeping, end quote, Brian's logic. 3 months later, no, it's got nothing to do with housekeeping. Why did you tell us it was then, you lying little shit? Because you're a liar?
Yeah.
Is it because you're utilising my intellectual property without my permission? Yeah, I think so, Brian. Yeah? Yeah, it seems like fun and games when I'm saying, that is actually copywriting. That's because I do this for a living, you dumb shit. So when you lie about how you're using my intellectual property in a book you're writing, yeah, you're going to know about it. Yeah, pretty sharpish. So you might want to piss off and start rewriting some of the shit that you've stolen from me. I mean, let's be honest, how much of Brian's book did he actually write? The answer's very little. It's all stolen from me. Now, we know that because Brian's told us that and then lied about it later. That's what liars do. They tell you how they're utilising your intellectual property without your permission, and then later when you're quizzed about it because you've betrayed them, you start turning around saying, well, I felt betrayed back in July. Really? Weren't you only 2 weeks ago telling me how I should trust you as my representative that I didn't appoint? Those two things sound like a lie from a bullshitter who's stealing my property. That'd be Brian, the bullshitting liar, who's stealing my intellectual property. So he can try and make money from it in a book that he's writing. But I mean, like I say, how much of Brian's book did Brian really write? Very little. If it's a book about housekeeping, end quote, Brian. What's that? Not about housekeeping. In direct contravention of what you told us it was about. Housekeeping. Yeah, you don't want to be using my intellectual property, Brian. That's mine. You stupid, lying little bitch.
Well, the date is actually, he put the date down. He said 4/11/25, so that would be April. So whatever happened on April 11th, he's claiming you stabbed him in the back then or knifed him or whatever.
I see. So I knifed him in the back in April, but yet he's my oh-so-loyal representative on my behalf in November? Really? That just makes you sound like an even bigger liar, Brian.
Well, they're spinning it that housekeeping is not even yours. It's Anthony Riley's. They don't understand that what's done in somebody's room on their show doesn't belong to that individual person.
They're idiots. They don't understand how intellectual property works.
Like anything that's done in here right now, this is yours. It's flat earth debate, correct? Or am I wrong?
What I know is, while I'm producing things, I don't know, like a book, hypothetically, if, like, I was talking to, I don't know, let's say a doctor, and that doctor explicitly detailed how he'd produced illegal narcotics and administered them to patients, I'd own that material because it was done in my intellectual space on my recording for my show for my benefit. So if I was to say, I don't know, write all about that sort of stuff, that would be very interesting reading in my book that I'd own the intellectual property to. Now, if you were that doctor, hypothetically speaking, and you're like, you can't talk about that, I'd be like, what? That's stuff that was talked about in my recordings for my benefit on my show that I produce, or during the creative process of a book that I'm writing. You're saying I can't use those words on my recordings. Yeah, I can, and I will be. What's that? It might cost you everything you own and put you in jail? Oh, that's such a shame. Oh dear. If only I was just publishing a book and making money from it, I wouldn't care. Obviously, that would require loyal friends, But I haven't got those loyal friends. Occasionally they try and stab you in the back, steal from you, and then extort from you. Now, when that happens, you might find yourself in jail as a consequence of your own stupid self-snitching words. P.S. the noob, can you go on mute, please?
Sorry.
Well, maybe when they hear this, they may reconsider, but I think it's already too late.
Yeah, it's already been written about, so I couldn't give a toss. Makes for a really interesting chapter, though. And it's a shame of having to rewrite all this stuff. You know, gather up all their plagiarism that they've utilised when they've been taking vast chunks of my book and putting it into what they're calling a second book. Plagiarising all of my material. Fortunately, I've got all the recordings to show a court where they're plagiarising my book should they ever try and publish it. Obviously, there's a huge amount of work that's having to be done to rewrite it so that I'm not using any of their old shitty material that's having to be rewritten now.
Well, what do you mean? The book's going forward? I heard it was at port.
I don't know what shitty analogy some idiot gave on his crappy show. From what I understand, he's got some dumb fuck of a wife telling him how publishing rights work. I mean, like some idiot who's standing in a mechanic's workshop not knowing how a car worked, you'd think that dumb bitch would keep her mouth shut. But unfortunately, she thinks she's some sort of publicist talking about how many percentage points you'll get as an editor. See, if that dumb bitch had actually known what was going on in reality, she'd have foresawn that he'd get fired, rather than telling him he'd get 50%. But that's what happens when some dumb bitch starts talking about things she hasn't got a clue about. What a retard. Made QE look very stupid. Yeah, they're listening, QE. Why is your dumb bitch talking about publishing rights? Is she a publisher? Does she have any clue what she's talking about? She should have taken a leaf out of your book when you're in a mechanic's workshop and kept her dumb, stupid, idiotic whore mouth shut about things she hasn't got a clue about. She said you'd get 50%. No, you got fired. See how wrong your dumb bitch was? Just an idiot. What a buffoon. Why was she talking about things she hasn't got a clue about so I can turn around and call her a dumb whore? She should have kept her dumb whore mouth shut. She doesn't have a clue about publishing. She's not a publicist. So why is she talking about how many percentage points you get when you got fired? That just makes her sound like a stupid whore, doesn't it? What a retard. Reflects very badly on QE, who also seems like he married a dumb bitch talking about shit she hasn't got a clue about.
It's not her fault. He brought it to her and asked her the question.
Did you?
She was probably naive.
Yeah, it sounds like she was very naive. But she definitely passed comment. 50%, she said. So I understand. Really, you shouldn't have listened to your dumb bitch wife. Because if she had a clue, she'd have foresaw that you'd get fired, rather than suggesting that you'd get 50% when she's not a publicist. It's like asking an artist how to repair a car. Yeah? Don't ask people who haven't got a clue about book publishing how many points you'll get, because then you'll find out that rather than getting 50%, like the dumb bitch told you, you actually got sacked. Yeah? Making her seem very stupid. She is. Your dumb whore wife is thick as shit. And wrong. You didn't get 50%, you're not getting your name on my book. What you are getting is your wife called a stupid dumb whore because she suggested you'd get 50%. Wrong! What a retard. Reflects very badly on you. Did you marry that stupid bitch? She's clueless. Like, why is she talking on that subject? It'd be like QE talking about fixing a car when he stood there probably getting ripped off.
Well,
She can.
You gotta look at it.
She can suck my dick and give me good eye contact. I demand it. It's not negotiable. I'll get my solicitor to write out a little letterhead demanding it and saying the words non-negotiable.
Well, you gotta look at it like this, Nathan. If just picture yourself in your marriage, and every time your wife asks you a question, you made it appear like you were going to do something else for somebody else. You know, like the book. Every time she turned around and asked him what he's doing, he's going to do the book. So in her mind, she's probably saying, well, wait a second. If you're telling me this book is going to sell over $250,000 worth of copies, then I want some. You deserve 50%. Every time I turn around, you're telling me you're working on his book. Can't blame her.
It's like that tenant saying, what are you doing, husband? Oh, I'm working on the decorating of this building. It's all I do all day long. Oh, really? You deserve 50% of the building then? Yeah, that's what you get when you converse with idiots that haven't got a clue what they're talking about. They'll lead you into belief that you're owed 50% of something that doesn't belong to you. And instead of getting that 50%, some dumb whore tells you you're owed, you get sacked and called a thieving cunt instead. And your wife's told that she can look at the man who you've stolen from in the eye while she sucks his dick. That's what you get told. So rather than getting the 50% you stupid, dumb, lying whore told you you'd get, you got sacked. Yeah, don't listen to dumb, lying whores. That's my advice. Because they tell you stupid shit when they haven't got a clue what they're talking about.
Why is he still allowed? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I just wanted to mention that I don't even believe that his wife said anything. I think he's trying to do some kind of special pleading here to an audience, to build up a non-existent case for his side, which is really pathetic and cowardly, quite honestly. And I just wanted to say I hope 2026 is the year of the book, Nathan. I really do. Thank you.
It will be. I absolutely assure you of it. But it's got a very juicy ending.
That it does. Let me ask you a question, because they're trying to put this out there too, that when supposedly they said we got to start fresh, that there was negotiations, that they were going to be authors as well. That never took place. Not when I was in the room.
It's a good job I've got recordings of me saying things like, you can think of getting a mention, you won't be. I mean, is that them discussing getting authorship? No, that's me telling them you won't even get a mention. And that's recorded and published. So that when people say, really, you thought you were going to be a co-author, why is it that there's specific and explicit recordings of Nathan telling you that you absolutely will not get that, and you acknowledging it? Why is that then? Is it just because you're a pair of liars? I'm pretty sure it is.
Well,
do you remember, out of interest, as you can't remember them being told they'd get co-authorship? They didn't. Do you remember me saying you can think of getting a mention? It's also in a shorts video.
That also goes to show that they waited till the very, very end, when you were at your weakest point, and they thought you would just fold and say, yeah, whatever, that's fine, to bring it up to you. Because they knew they were going to get told no right from the beginning.
Well, all the way through, when it was suggested, they were told then they wouldn't be getting a mention. Nobody would. Now, maybe in their mind, when I say nobody will be getting a mention at all, but you can think of getting a mention, and then Adam went away and wrote specifically about why people wouldn't get a mention. In their mind, that means they're getting a mention. That means they're a pair of retards. Like, the words coming out of my mouth don't mean what I say. No, that's only true for you two pair of idiots, where what you say doesn't actually mean what you say. When I say you can think you're getting a mention, but you won't be, that means you can think you're getting a mention, but you won't be. It doesn't mean something completely different, like you will be getting co-authorship, because that's what they heard. Yet demented, like they need committing. If when someone says you will not get a mention, in their mind they hear, I'm going to be co-author. Now that makes you stupid. Very, very stupid.
Yep, it's black and white to me.
Yeah, there was absolutely no ambiguity with me expressing that they would not get a mention. Their bleatings on recordings about them not getting mentions is not them thinking that they're going to get co-authorship. It's them acknowledging the specific details of them not even getting a mention. Also, I had recorded when they did finally, late into the game, ask me for a mention. And I agreed to give them a mention in the book. And they acknowledged that, specifically, what they'd get. So they're just liars, aren't they?
Yes, and did you ever write out anything, like get anything prepared for their mention?
Did I ever what?
Did you ever put something together for their mention?
No.
But I remember somebody reading out how great they were. Who wrote that?
Oh, right. Adam wrote his own little amendment to the book about how fantastic he was for helping. Yeah, that'll get removed. Obviously, being my book and me having the final say on what goes in it, I'll take out whatever the hell I like. It's mine. What's that? You're shocked that I'd have the final editorial on my own book? Wow, you really are stupid. You can't believe that Nathan Oakley would have the final say in what goes into Nathan Oakley's book? Because you were the editors? Oh, really? Well, that's kind of stupid. You got delusions of grandeur? Like, thoughts above your own station? No, what you got was fired. That's what you got. Yeah, now somebody else is doing that work. Now, unlike them, who offered to do it because they wanted to, quote, make it the best book ever, the new editor does actually get paid. My wife gets paid by the generosity and support of people who saw my plight with two thieving bastards and offered to help support her financially to do the work that they were offering to do for free.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So I also had this question that Welcome to Flat Earth is the name of the book, which they are calling the second book. But from what I remember, you came up with that title on your own and one day declared it to public that I'm going to change the name of the book to Welcome to Flat Earth rather than it being All Roads Lead to Flat Earth. I'm not sure whether you had any consultation with the rest of the panel members at that time who were helping you with the book.
No.
But it was a bloody decision, wasn't it?
No, it's just my decision on what I'd call my book.
If I remember, somebody said it in chat, and we all agreed it was outstanding. But they tried to give that to Chocolate.
I mean, Welcome to Flat Earth as a phrase may have been said prior to me saying it or deeming it a worthy title of my book. Run out of milk. Shall I just get on with the show and worry about it later?
How do you run out of milk?
I mean, my wife told me 20 minutes ago that I'd got no milk, and she said, do you want me to go and get milk? And I'm like, no, you're poorly, and so's Clover. So no, I'll go and get it. I'll just hope that everyone keeps the conversation going. I've got 5 minutes. I can razz. I can go and get it. If the show's late, so be it, right? That's just the way it goes. Do you think you guys can keep the conversation going while I disappear and get milk?
Absolutely. We got the gins to here. We'll keep the conversation going. One deck's here.
I was going to say you could drink the coffee black too.
Not the same. Like me, my coffee has to have, if I'm doing a regular cup of coffee, it's got to be the sweet cream, the Chobani sweet cream, perfect. If I'm doing an espresso, same deal. It comes right out from the freaking pot with a beautiful creamy head on it. And then I add that Chobani creamer. Outstanding. As a matter of fact, I might want another cup. Let's go on one deck.
Hey Neil, you all right, mate? Yeah, I'm just driving at the moment. I'll be pulling up in the next 5 minutes.
Did anybody have a look at some of the stuff Len put together?
Yeah, looked all right. I had a quick look at his example a few hours ago. Looked all right.
Pretty good, right? I like it. So, what do you guys think going forward?
I would say just in case we have a globe earther, anti-flat earther visit our discussion, let Jin have a go at him. I would suggest that it will be really entertaining.
Well, Jen's Rambo.
Yep, let him fight it out. The flat earth.
Yeah. I'm always ready for that. How you doing, everybody?
The problem is, Jen, when Nathan sinks his teeth in to a glober, he's very selfish. and he doesn't like give us some scraps. So my recommendation will be, when he finally lets go, Jin, you step in.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, kicking the final boot.
Level him horizontally. That's what we're going to do.
So Jin, your campaign with the horizontal constant, how's it been going?
Oh, it's been going brilliant. It's been going well. It's been well received in certain servers. People like it. And I'm like I said, that's what I'm going to go with from now on, from last Friday onwards now. So we're going into 2026, preparing to have the people recognize the horizontal constant. That is something that is real, touchable, measurable. You can have a picnic on it. You can swim on it. Yeah, you can lie on it. Whereas the gravitational constant doesn't even exist. And how many years did we get bombarded with that through our schooling and, through our adulthood? You know what I mean? The gravitational constant. And honestly, constantly lying. That's what that was all about.
Yeah, constant bullshit.
Constant mathematics, that was, right? And now
Right.
Jin's onto something. He's right. What we see is constantly horizontal. We never see curve. We never see anything other than the constant horizontal.
Yeah.
It's not only
The
that. It's when you're measuring. I mean, look at what we've been watching yesterday. The guy who was describing the angles. You know, the first word out of his mouth for 15 seconds was, "We'll be using the horizontal."
Yeah. Yeah.
Even in Len's videos that he's putting together, look what they're doing. They're constantly measuring with their wheel horizontally.
Yeah, you're always referencing horizontal pitch data. You're referencing horizontal. Yeah.
It's unavoidable, isn't it?
Altitude, sea level. It's
Hence the horizontal constant. Sorry, hence the horizontal constant. Yeah.
It's constant. It's just constantly horizontal.
Constantly in your face. It's unavoidable. Just like the air that you breathe. That unavoidable. It's at that level. For as sure as you breathe air, horizontal constant exists and continues to. Will continue to exist. It's where you live.
And any measurement you take must be taken off the horizontal.
Yeah. With the
Any elevation profiles must be taken off the constant horizontal. Anything. As the plane flies, what does it fly over, Jin?
The horizontal constant.
Yep.
Yeah, sea level. I mean mean sea level.
Yeah, me. He's doing it again. He's doing it again, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, mean sea level.
The only thing I know Nathan's uptight. I don't think you should be saying that about QE's wife. Gonna have a word with him in private.
Yeah. Are we actually live now, by the way? Are we live at the moment?
Well, no, we're in the pre-show, which gets recorded and gets released, about a month from now. To members, it gets released immediately. Maybe an hour after the show, they can hear it. Like it.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
I had to grab my breath halfway through the intro. I've just run out to go and grab bread and milk just before the live show started, so I'm really out of breath now. I don't know if you could tell during the intro. I've got it down pat, so you probably couldn't tell that badly that I was out of breath. But I am. Hopefully my wife will come up with a coffee as a result, though, which is always good and always nice. How's it all been going? Good,
Going good. Len's put some stuff together for the new intro. I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
That looks pretty good. Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. Fantastic. Any chance you can show us, Len? Are you tied up doing things?
Is he here?
He is here. He's in the hangout. But he might not be here, if you know what I mean.
It's in Master B. It's labeled, I forgot what he labeled it. A couple of them, we could pull it up. Master B.
Hello.
There he is.
Yes, sorry, I'm currently working at the moment. But yeah, I know you came up with a little outline for what you were after, but I was up till stupid o'clock last night. I just stitched them all together, came up with a lot of new renders. And yeah, there's two versions. There's one with some random bloody tune that I put together just to keep a note of a line that bloody one deck said. It's a bit cheesy and gothy, but then I realised I could just screen record it with roast chicken over the top of it. So there's two, but they're both exactly the same. The flow quite nice, apart from the end bit. But yeah.
Oh, is this it? Rough compilation, roast chicken.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay, there's two of them, right? Rough compilation cheese. It says. Should I just play both of them? I don't know if I can actually play them. Okay, I'll have to figure out how to get them from Master B into the Hangout. Let me just see if I can figure that out first.
But yeah, I'm working, and it takes me about 5 minutes to get my phone out my pocket and on mute.
It's all right. I got them. Opening browser. Next. To present a passkey. What? Just let me play it. Okay, I think I've got it to work. Let's just make this big and share it in the Hangout. Just give me 30 more seconds. Talk amongst yourselves for a second or two. Yeah, so we're really pleased to be here.
Nice work you did there, Tommy.
Tommy?
Yeah, talking about vaccine chat. But Len, yeah, so you've been on it, huh?
Okay,
Work.
This is a rough compilation cheesy goth theme. Oh, cheesy go. Yeah, cheesy goth. I was right the second time. Okay, let's just have a listen.
Flat. That's a statement of fact. I don't care what you think about that, 'cause it was measured that way. Oh.
Awesome. Right, let's have a look at the other one. Got that one? Yep.
I'm spitting facts that Earth's measured flat. You might not like that, but facts are facts. Vertical heights from surface level. Horizontal linear measurements on the scale of maps axiomatically proves that. Ooh, you might not like that, but facts are facts. And I'm spitting it flat and that perpendicular to a plane of reference that's height right parallel flight level above sea level. If the earth was flat, we would measure it flat. We measure it flat, so earth is flat. And I'm spitting facts about that. You might not like that. You can't assume earth a sphere by circular reasoning, but when you measure it flat, it contradicts that.
It's absolutely awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, that one is brilliant. That one, yeah, love that one.
Yeah, I didn't have an MP3 of One Deck's song, so it's not really beat matched or anything like that, or the cuts to any key moments in the song. But yeah, I need an MP3 of that, and I can work it together better. There's still a few frames and stuff that I could do with rendering and some ideas.
Oh, but
I don't know.
as a work in progress, that is like 90% there, isn't it? I mean, that is so cool. I had no idea I'd be presenting that to an audience today. But, you know.
I did pull quite a long day yesterday from when I was working on it, talking to you till probably about 5 in the bloody morning. Oh. Then I started work at 7.
I'm amazed. I'm absolutely overwhelmed. That is so cool. And the fact that I can just stick it up and now present it to an audience and they can get an idea of what the new intro will look like a proper good idea as well. Like, that is superb. I'm almost lost for words. That is absolutely brilliant. I'm so chuffed. What do you all think?
I've seen it this morning. I was like, Nathan's going to love this.
Yeah, it's epic. It's great. Yeah, it's time for a new intro, right? We've gone from fighting from within a concept that we had no clue about, talking about distances to a geometric horizon based on earth curve maths that I was ignorant of, and so was everyone around me, being educated by ballers on how to use their begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking earth curve calculator with flat earth measurements being the input values, to arguing within the confines of heliocentrism about heliocentrism as though we're heliocentrists with an advanced knowledge. So I remember a couple of years ago, Refracted Curvature telling me off because I was saying, well, we are like advanced heliocentrists now. And I wasn't wrong. He just didn't like the sentiment. And I can not blame him, right? When you're talking about a subject matter that's devoid of heliocentrism, that's to say how Earth is flat, why would you deem yourself an advanced heliocentrist? Well, it's because, although I was grasping at straws to try and explain this back then, it's because that's precisely what we were. Now, moving forward into the latter stages of flat Earth debate in modern times, we're talking about how Earth is always measured flat, and that there aren't any exceptions to that. So having Wandex's theme tune that summarises that exact position, with just pictures of people measuring Earth in all different ways, be it elevation angles from aeroplanes or from up a mountain. I'm glad that's in there. It's one of the responses from idiot ballers. Well, what if you're up a mountain? Can you use a sextant then? It's like, I'm pretty sure if you're up a mountain, you know where you are. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to not know which mountain you're on. But there we go. I mean, fair enough. We've put it in. I say we. Len's put it in. But yeah, now we're at a point where the old school version of flat Earth, that's anti-globe rhetoric, is moot. It's almost entirely redundant. Because regardless of your belief, regardless of what you want to choose to think the Earth is, it gets measured the exact same way by everyone always. Once you know that, do you need to know Aristophanes' version? Well, I suppose he's also measuring Earth flat. That's not a good example. Do you need to know Al-Biruni's first name to know Earth's measured flat?
Negative.
You just need to know how the measurements are done. Or refer to any measurements of Earth ever, and you'll know it's flat, because that's how it's measured. Now, for our opponents currently, let's call them what they are, former opponents. They want to justify how Earth gets measured flat because it's a really big ball, or because it's easier. You're like, yeah, it is easier to measure Earth flat because that's what it is. Now, there's no apologetics required from our side of this discussion when you also disclaim how flat Earth gets measured. The fact that you have to add a disclaimer that doesn't mean it's flat when we've just measured it flat. It's just convenient to measure it flat when it's not flat. Like, okay, you double-speaking bunch of clowns, we're no longer going to be interacting with you, we don't need you anymore. You know it's flat, we know it's flat. Anybody measuring it knows it's flat. And for the most part, if you're a normie, you go out, you measure it flat, and you don't feel or see the need to explain that it isn't after you've measured it to be flat. Cognitively, you're not saying, well, I must explain how flat it isn't after this, because otherwise a load of anti-baller rhetorics will chase me down.
We were getting more resistance from within with Earth is measured flat than without. The ballers know it's measured flat, and that's what Refracted said. They know it too. They utilize it that way. The resistance came from within. Major resistance.
Yeah, you do still get it a little bit. The video we watched yesterday with the gentleman within 15 seconds tell us how the sub-altitude treasure from horizontal plane, as we witnessed, did go on to talk about hemispheres and working this out inside the sphere that we live on, going inside to do the measurements. So We still do have that cog disc going on, don't we? We witnessed it yesterday.
Yeah, there's going to be a certain level of that where people feel that they're compelled to explain how ball-shaped Earth still is, even though we are measuring it flat. But for the most part, like I say, for 90% of that video yesterday, the guy's just detailing how we measure Earth. Now, when he comes to describe the sphere wrapped around your position to give you the angles to the sun, he's saying, well, that's not the sphere of Earth that we're drawing us in. It's like, well, au contraire, that is the sphere of Earth. We just can't be inside a ball Earth that you imagined after measuring it flat. And you can't make the protractor you measured the flat Earth with the ball surface that you're not standing on. Disclaiming that, well, it's just a sphere, it doesn't mean it's the sphere planet that I believe I'm on. It's like, well, if you believe you're on a sphere planet, show how you measure that. Don't describe being within a protractor view on a flat plane, measuring Earth's surface as flat, only to later disclaim that it's not the ball we live on, it's just a different ball that we're in, measuring angles from a flat plane inside a ball. We're not in a ball.
Doesn't it sound... I can't think of the word. It sounds absolutely insane when you put it like that. But that's what's happening. That's what they're thinking. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's good that we can actually highlight that for the unknowing Globo who's been indoctrinated. So if you put it across and explain it, because you're going to have to explain what that's going on there, this is how they deceive you. That's fine. And it's measured flat is all very well. It's fantastic. It's great. But sometimes you may have to elaborate. That's all. And sometimes old school stuff will have to come to play. The older good arguments that we have, or good statements of facts that we have, will come to play. No doubt about it. Because not everyone's going to get it straight off the bat. That's been my experience.
Well, there were arguments back then. Make no mistake about it.
We
were arguing.
Facts. Yeah.
But we were arguing. But the thing now is why we have the upper hand is we've turned it from an argument to statements of fact. And you don't argue statements of fact. When we say Earth's measured flat, that's a statement of fact in everything that you do, whether it be celestial navigation, whether it be surveying, whether it be pitch data on a flight. You're all measuring Earth flat, and that's a fact.
We're spitting facts about that. Some people might not like that.
But my point is, there's not a debate about it. It's a measurement.
Yeah,
it's certainly not going to like the horizontal constant. I'm not going to like that. I'll tell you that.
I agree. I like it, Chin.
No, that is how it's being measured, though, by everyone. Now, you can lie and say, oh, well, we don't only measure Earth flat, end quote, Simon Dan. But that would be a lie, because we only measure Earth flat. There aren't any exceptions to it. Dan himself measured Earth flat thousands of times with the participating audience that he instructed to go out and measure it, so that he's not just measuring it locally. You know, he's measuring it all over the place flat. But that's how it got measured.
Sorry, that's what I was going to ask you. In that video, if he's saying we don't only measure Earth flat, then what were those 1,000 people doing?
But they were all measuring Earth flat, Neil, like this on screen now. This is what they were measuring. Elevation angles from a flat plane to the sun. Thousands of them.
So then you only measure Earth flat.
Yeah, he only measured Earth flat when he got thousands of people to measure Earth flat for an elevation angle to the sun. That's what he did. Only flat Earth measurements. That's all that they produced.
They're constantly using horizontal baselines, aren't they? That's all they're doing.
It's just absolutely final, isn't it? It's final when you tell them that Earth is measured flat and has always been measured flat for eons. You know, there you go. It's final, isn't it? There's just no escaping it.
Yeah. But, you know, you've got to create some sort of air of finality by hijacking a scientific method and calling it an experiment when you're just measuring Earth flat in an alleged to be Antarctic visit. That sort of final experiment is ultimately just a lie about measuring Earth flat in the same way that's on screen now. You know, measuring the sun moving around your position for its elevation angles throughout the day is just a string of flat Earth measurements. Not an experiment. But if you suggest that your final experiment draws a conclusion to Earth not being flat, it's So, well, why on earth would you measure it flat for the whole time you were there then? Why would you fly in parallel flight to the ground at a flight level if it's not flat? I mean, that makes no sense to me. But, I mean, there's delusional idiots out there that tell themselves that they're doing experiments when they're just measuring Earth flat, and that their flat Earth measurements, called falsely an experiment, somehow will put some finality to Earth not being flat. Like, man, these people are really deluded.
In the Bible, it talks about how the line has gone out. Let me read it real quick. In Psalm 19, it says, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Day unto day are the speech, and night unto night shows knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them has he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber and rejoices as a strong man to run a race. So we see that the sun is moving, and their line has gone out through all the earth. That's a measurement.
Vernon von Braun put that on his gravestone, or had it put onto his gravestone.
Yeah, the first section. Yeah.
Yeah.
The firmament declareth the glory of God is on his tombstone. It just says Psalms, what is it, 19:1?
19:1.
Yeah, so he doesn't actually write it out. He just writes Psalm 19:1 on his tomb, or he has had written. Presumably not by him. He's dead.
Yeah, but I like their line has gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them has he set a tabernacle for the sun.
Tabernacle
We're talking about
is
measurement.
a tabernacle's like a bar, isn't it?
It's a sort of like a tent. Tabernacle. Let me check it out.
I thought tabernacle meant something akin to a bar. Tabernacle meaning biblical use.
Sanctuary is a portable sanctuary, a dwelling place, or a cabinet used for religious purposes. Historically, it refers to the portable sanctuary built by the Israelites. Okay, yeah. But yeah, he's put a tabernacle for the sun. But the sun is what's moving.
In biblical use, fixed, movable dwelling, typically of light construction, tent or sanctuary, Ark of the Covenant by the Israelites during the Exodus, or a meeting place to worship for nonconformists or Latter-day Saints, that's Mormons, or an ornamental reciprocal or cabinet containing the reserved sacrament that may be placed in Catholic churches, usually on or above an altar.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's interesting that he set a tabernacle for the sun.
I mean, just on a different note, it does sort of sound like he's. I'm not getting involved with this one, but what I'm saying is, it also with what you've just said there, it sounds like what we say when you've got the protractor sort of view, the perspective dome over your head. Could it be similar to that? Isn't it, in a way?
AI
it's
Overview
movement.
says, in the Bible, the tabernacle was a portable sanctuary or dwelling place for God among the Israelites from the time of the Exodus until the building of the first temple. Okay. I thought it was a bar. I thought it had a load of people in there getting shit-faced, but obviously not.
Anyway, as well as that, what we're talking about is we've got the light in the sky we call the sun that gives us our time and seasons, and we measure elevation angles to it. It's used in celestial navigation as well as the other lights in the sky, and it's useful for that, to obtain its GP, to get your position on Earth. Mean sea level can be used for the horizontal baseline, for the elevation angle, when doing so.
Also, I think the tabernacle is also found on ships, the old sailing ships, where they can lower the mast to go under bridges and that where it joins the deck. One deck. Okay. Tabernacle.
Hey.
One deck.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I jumped out to listen to the videos on YouTube, which is lagging a bit, but yeah, they was great, especially the roast chicken one.
Yeah, I really like the roast chicken song. I hope that in the final product that becomes the intro, it'll be linked with the rap itself rather than just the song. That is to say, the rap is the main bit that gets used.
Yeah, the finger licking chicken only got the measurements missing. But...
Yeah, I think that's ace. I just like the rap. I think it's good.
Let me just for that line thing. The phrase "their line has gone out" is a biblical reference, most famously from Psalm 19:4. That means the message of God's glory is communicated through creation to all parts of the earth, even without a spoken language. It uses the metaphor of a measuring line to suggest the extent of God's message about his power and divinity, which is understood through the observable universe. Well, no, that's world, and is considered undeniable evidence of God's existence. The line represents a measuring. That's something, isn't it?
Yes. On a slightly aside note, my favourite line or favourite comment response underneath the "If Earth Was a Big Roast Chicken" video was someone saying words to the effect of, "Witsit and Eli sound really good collaborating together."
No way.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh boy. Yeah, it's a good song, and it takes us forward to the new phase of flat earth debate. Out with the old, in with the new. You got a solid panel here.
I just think life's a lot more laid back post roads leading to flat earth. That is to say, when a full, as it is at the moment, a full comprehension of that fact is attained by the panel and the people who surround the show, and to a certain degree the audience, then it becomes a lot less stressful. The show becomes a lot more laid back. That's why I want to kind of put that sentiment into each time I put the rhetoric forward. Like, it's not that serious. Earth's just measured flat. Because I don't think it is that serious. Given that any normie who goes out and measures Earth measures it flat. Why would it be so serious? It's only serious if you believe it's a ball. And suddenly you've got to start making disclaimers for how, even though it's measured flat, that doesn't mean it is. I mean, that's stupid and stressful if you're the person having to say that. But for us, it's just measured flat because it's just measured flat. There's no big deal here. So what? Just go out and measure Earth and you'll find out how flat it is. What's the big deal?
Exactly.
Yeah, it is quite laid back, that song. If you listen to One Decks, it's a laid back attitude type, whereas the original one, dun, 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 your old song, it's like you're ready, you're tense, you're ready for a fight.
Yeah.
Now we're laid back.
Da-da-dun, 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 da-da-dun. That was how the original one went. Now it's a lot more sort of, well, if Earth Was a Big Roast Chicken, it'll just sound more relaxed as the show begins.
I think it has good some, and that, like I say, that them, even though we use them wordings when we're describing that particular song that I did, was all me just roughly writing things down. But when Nathan was talking to Mez on that show, and just writing random things down, I wasn't thinking about anything. Just heard Nathan say something, write it down. Heard him say something else, write it down. So it's all your words in there, Nathan. I added a few in. To just sort of do that, but and then I just threw it into a program, and there you go.
Yeah, but the song, the beat, it demonstrates our position in it now.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Relaxed, laid back.
Yeah,
that's now.
Yeah, and we're just saying you might not like that, but there's nothing we can do about that. If the Earth was flat, it would be measured flat. It is measured flat. So the Earth is flat.
I love that. I love all that. I love all that. That is really emphasizing flat Earth right there. Yeah. And you're saying, so don't sweat it. Don't sweat it because it's measured flat.
It's like
it's got like a chill feel to it. Like,
Ed Sheeran.
it's nothing like that.
Sounds like Ed Sheeran to me.
Yeah. And he's smooth.
Yeah,
Laid back.
you don't get much higher praise than being described as sounding like Ed Sheeran. That is pretty high praise, I would say.
Agreed. But he's chilling laid back. No stress at all.
I mean, it was difficult for me to get my voice that day to be sounding like that, but I managed to, just do some throat exercises, and that's how I came up with it.
He just called in Witsit, and Witsit overdubbed the song, and Eli then did the rap, and Bob's your uncle. Yeah, as is the case on a Tuesday, I take my eldest daughter to an art class, and what I've been doing, not that I anticipated this would be the case at this particular juncture when it comes to the book, is writing specific anecdotes about things that have gone on during the time that I've been making this show. And today, what I was writing about specifically was about copyright. Not just because I've had a couple of thieving bastards try and steal my fifth draft and call it a second book, but because also prior to them even appearing on the scene, and many of you may or may not remember this, there was a period early on in Flat Earth debate history where the entire show was completely shut down by about, I'm going to say 19 copyright strikes that all came simultaneously. So what I had to do was chase down the company that was being suggested to be making these copyright strikes, find the owner of the company, and take him to court. So I had to sue. And in order to do that, I needed Anthony Riley to go to the location of the building that was being used in the address on the copyright strikes, track down the guy, and get disclaimers from him so that he could be sued, and him turn around after being sued, because I needed to demonstrate to YouTube that I'd taken legal action by suing somebody, and have him disclaim that he had no idea that they had even been done, that they'd been done in his name without him knowing anything about it. In other words, he wasn't applying for copyright against me, even though his name and company name was being used to put all these bogus copyright claims, all one after the next. And it reached a point where all 4 of my YouTube channels, that's Nathan Oakley 1980, Nathan Oakley, Oakley Chord, and what is now called Flat Earth Debate, were all shut down with copyright strikes and waiting to be wiped off the face of the earth by YouTube. Now, for anybody who's unaware about how it works with copyright strikes, if you get 3 copyright strikes, it's 3 strikes and you're out. They remove your channel from YouTube. I had on this channel 19 all at once. I had to fight all of them through the courts. Now, at the time, I didn't have the support I do today, and a very kind chap called William Gensker basically bankrolled me being able to sue. So he paid the instruction fees and a few other fees while Anthony was going out and digging, like boots on the ground, basically, finding out who the person who was alleged to be putting these copyright strikes in. The guy had no idea. Like, he's just some random guy that somebody had picked to use as a company name. But the guy himself, who owned the company, who I won't repeat, and it won't go into the book either because it's not fair on that guy, was being dragged into court because some arsehole had decided to use his name to put in fake copyright strikes against me. Very stressful time. And at that time, I thought that was the end. I thought, this is the end. There's no more channels. They're going to take them all off me. And like I say, I didn't have the kind of support I had today, where if it happened today, I'm pretty sure I could rebuild relatively quickly. Whereas back then, I was just some guy. The only thing I'd done of any note was tracking the sun and was just starting to run the debate. But it pissed somebody off enough to instigate dozens, and I do mean dozens, of copyright strikes against all of my channels all at once. I can still see it in the statistics. So it was of significant note enough that the graph that shows my overall views, so if you go to my info for this channel and look up views, it'll give you a graph for all of the views from when the channel first became a channel to date. And in that, you can see where there's this big V shape where it all drops to 0, where there's no views. And it stays like that for, I don't know how long it was, I can't remember now. It might have been a couple of months, but a while. And then it goes back up to how it was. Like, the channels get reinstated and then I go back to work. But for a time, I couldn't pay my mortgage. I had no income. There was no Patreon at the time. There was just the revenue that I got from the channel, and that was it. And it dropped to 0 because the channel was completely shut down temporarily while I sued for copyright, or for bogus copyright.
So there were no shows going on at that time?
No, it all got shut down. All 4 of the channels were effectively turned off while I fought court battles.
Did you find out who did this nasty piece of work?
Pardon?
Did you find out who was responsible for this?
No. No, all I could do was sue the named party and submit to YouTube that I had to show the court documents that I'd got from the courts to YouTube. I had to supply them with them and say, look, I am suing this individual. And this individual had to write back and say, I am not making any of these claims. I am not the claimant. Somebody's stepping. I don't know. I can't remember exactly how he phrased it, but basically pointed out to YouTube on my behalf. He had to. He was being sued. That he had no involvement in it. That he was just being used. I don't know if the word patsy is the correct word, or scapegoat. I can't remember what the word you'd use, but he was like a bogus party that had no involvement. It'd be like me picking a random shop name and then going to some random YouTube channel and using that shop name to put in a copyright claim against that individual. That was what had happened to this guy, and he was like, perfectly amiable guy. He just didn't need to be dragged into some bogus copyright claims that he had nothing to do with. But that was the only way to be able to submit to YouTube. No, I have taken this guy to court.
What about the copyright?
Hold on. Did you feel like you were over the target at that point? Did you feel like, what's going on here? I'm just putting a flat debate show and I'm getting 19 copyright strikes. I must be over the target here.
Yeah, that's when I started the debate.
But were there any copyright, strikes?
No. Every single one of them was bogus because I owned all the material. What it'd be like copyright striking this show. It's like, no, there's nothing to copyright strike. It's all mine.
But why did they shut you down? I mean, wouldn't they look into that and think, well, this isn't actually copyright, it's actually bogus, so we can't do anything about it? What?
But that's what they said initially. You're going to need to show that you've taken court action. So I did. Like I say, I didn't have the money to do it. I didn't have the money to keep my mortgage paid or my lights on at the time. But for the fact that there was people in the community that saw what was happening to me and went, I'll pay for you to take out this court action. In other words, I'll bankroll you to take the person to court. Even though the person hadn't done anything wrong, the person who was named and being taken to court hadn't done anything wrong. I had to show that was occurring to YouTube to get my channels reinstated. It was a hell of a time. It was really miserable.
Bloody hell. Wouldn't know where to start with all that.
Yeah, but sterling work all round for those in the community who came to your aid, and then your unwavering tenacity to take it through to the law courts and then to demonstrate that, look, I've sued this person, what's going on, basically. Because that's ridiculous censorship. That's out of order.
Yeah, and then I can't remember if it was William or someone else also assisted in retaining all of my videos because obviously they were going to vanish. And up until then, there was several hundred debates that had already taken place. And they started a website on my behalf, which is now gone. But NathanOakley.com was started so that there was a hosting ability to put all of the debates and shows and Flat Earth UK and clips and everything that I'd done work-wise, probably consisting of several thousand videos, all in one place in case the worst happened. That is to say, should my videos have been permanently removed because YouTube did delete my channels, they would have been hosted now on a .com rather than on YouTube. Now that, fortunately for me, never actually came to be the case, and that eventually didn't need to be, that became redundant rather than my YouTube channel getting wiped out. So after tons and tons of work, like daily uploading videos, labeling them and putting thumbnails on them for the website, it was taking up hours and hours and hours of time, all while fighting copyright court battles and dealing with YouTube, whilst no money was coming in.
Sounds like you know a little bit about this. You've been to court for copyright. Sounds like you got like a little knowledge about this. Oh,
I've been
boy.
to court. I've sued people multiple times for various different things. I've sued for unfair dismissal. I've sued for what's the rich man's tort called? I don't know what it's called now. Defamation of character. I've sued for that. Sued for all sorts of things. And won.
Well done. Last year, I had 3 attempts at shutting down 3 separate accounts. First of all, it was my YouTube account, right? I was locked out of it. So I couldn't access my material. So there's a little area where you can actually appeal. So I appealed it, right? On the grounds that the reason you've stopped my account is because of something that happened 4 years ago. What's going on? The next day it was back on. I gained access the next day. So I was quite lucky there. The other one was on my Skype. It was some character. When you have your contact list, there was somebody that I didn't know, that I don't know this guy, clicked on it, shut down my Skype. You know what I mean? Right? Shut down the account. So I tried to put all my details back in and managed to fire it up again. Okay, that was cool. And then the last one was Discord wasn't allowing me to verify my account, and I was locked out of it for 3 months. Returned this year, January. There you go. So, and I was sharing material on some controversial stuff, which it seemed controversial, deemed controversial. It's not really, but that's why I got this attack last year. 3 attacks on my YouTube, on the Skype, and on the Discord last year.
Right. Well, Nathan, yours happened before all the censorship, though, right?
Yeah, that was before the announcement in Congress. Yeah.
Wow, they were looking to shut this down immediately.
We've got Rob Noxious in the chat saying free Rob Noxious. I'll just read out one of his stalky comments. You are a scumbag piece of shit and are going down, you white nigger. That's a message from Rob Noxious to me on one of my private messaging services. That's what he wrote to me.
Oh, he said he's going to behave, but that's what he said in the past. I don't think we should ever let him back on the show. No. He's only saying he's going to behave for one reason, and when he gets on, he's going to take that opportunity to say something derogatory.
Yeah, like I say, this is somebody sending me these messages, harassing me basically, calling me a white nigger, end quote, Rob Noxious, in messaging chats. You're a scumbag, Rob Noxious. You don't deserve to be here. Anyway, I'll now unceremoniously block this person.
Is he in the chat on the live show, Nathan?
Yeah. Like I say, I've mentioned this particular individual being a very creepy stalker type, abusive in private messages, which is why he's been banned from various different servers previously. Right, and then he's going free Rob Noxious. You're like, what are you on?
Yeah, he's emotionally and mentally unstable. Unstable.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't want people like that.
Man, that was years ago. It don't matter if it was freaking 10 years ago. That's what was in your heart.
It's a lie.
And I don't believe it's out.
That was June 2024. Like a year ago.
That's not years. That's a year.
Yeah, like I say, I don't need that kind of abuse. I mean, it's not that serious, right? You don't need to be turning around and calling me a white nigger just because Earth's measured flat. There's no need for it. It's not that serious.
Yeah, some people just don't like that, Nathan.
You might not like that, but a fact's a fact.
It's measured flat, horizontal constant. That's what it is.
He said it's between us. Nah, that's it. I agree. But yesterday we asked you when you said fine. Not today you got a change of heart, Nathan.
Now, when you're running a live show, you've just got too many things in the air, too many plates spinning. I can't remember everybody's name and what they've done. There's more than one abusive wanker out there. So, you know, one fake screen name sounds very similar to the next, in my opinion. And when you're doing multiple different things, you don't know who's who immediately. But then after you think, who is that guy? Oh, yeah, I do remember. Creepy stalker. Abusive. No, you don't deserve to be around me.
His last campaign was to get you and everybody affiliated with you kicked off of YouTube.
Exactly.
Out.
Exactly. So while I do this for the sole purpose of living, this is my living. It's what I do. This is my career. All right, I've been doing it for 10 years. What cracks me up the most is when people say, go and get a job. Like, this is my job. This is what I do for a living. So when someone comes along and goes, well, you know what, I'm going to install a load of fake copyright strikes against this person, it means that I can't pay bills. That's all it means. Like, you're taking food out of my own kids' mouths. Now, when someone like that comes along and says, I want to shut this man down and take him off YouTube, you mean you want to end my career? Why? I'm a YouTuber. It's what I do for a living. It's what I do to keep the lights on, to feed my kids, to pay the mortgage. That's what I do. This is what I do. So when you come along and say, I want to end that, why? Because you don't like the Earth's measured flat? That's scummy. Like, criminally scummy.
How come they don't go after broadcasting crews, people that broadcast on TV, and claim that that's not a job? Why don't they tell those people to get jobs?
Because they're idiots.
I mean, that to me like seems like somebody who actually deep down themselves knows that Earth is measured flat, but you know, just wants to hold on to the globe dream. And people like you who are spitting out facts about how it's measured, he can't handle it. He just wants to shut you up because he's sick of hearing it. He knows it's true, but he don't want it to be true because it'll burst his little globe bubble.
Yeah, but one deck is not. It's got to be still. Even if I was generous and gave us, since this started, this new resurgence of flat Earth, let's say 2014, maybe 25% of the Western world now understand and know it's flat. It's still 75-25. What are they afraid of?
Being made to look stupid.
Like, how did you explain it last time? You know, it's like you can't, you know, if you've got blood in your veins, you know, if you believe that you live on a globe and that's what you've been taught and that's what you want to believe, just believe it. Why are you taking so much time to fight against something that is absolutely ridiculous and only retarded people called flat earthers believe in? You know, you just leave them to it.
Right. We're not going to their channels and telling them Earth is flat, get off the globe. We're just demonstrating daily how Earth is flat. And they're coming to us and telling us, no,
yes,
we're going to take you down.
I really like the contrast, Neil. I think that's an epic contrast. So over the last few years, when we have been covering anti-flat Earth people like Simon Dan, Craig, Fugly Dave, whoever, we've been saying, go to their channel and support them. The hope being that they'd return the favour, like go and let them know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, build them up, give them views, give them comments, support them as a fellow YouTube videographer. That's what we say. Now, our rhetoric's slightly different, but still along the same vein, which is, we support you in your belief. If you want to believe you're on a ball, more power to you, you're entitled to your belief. Now, we don't have a belief in a flat Earth. It's just how Earth's measured. It's not that serious. Earth's just measured flat. But what's that? You want to shut me down? Call me a white nigger? Get rid of my channel? Take food out of my kid's mouth? Why? Why? We've got nothing but peace and love for you in your belief for a ball. One deck's just given you his explicit permission. You're allowed to believe in a ball. We're not going to stop you. If you want to believe you're on a ball flying around the sun, you can. You're entitled to your belief. It won't change how Earth is measured. Flat in all instances and without exception. And we understand that. Some of you on your ball side, you understand that too. Like Simon Dan, quote, we don't only measure Earth flat. I mean, that's a lie. You do only measure Earth flat. But you understand, as we understand, that Earth is measured flat. Now, in spite of us being the right, I'm not going around saying we need to shut you down. We need to shut your channel, shut your... Do I? Now, that's the kind of idiot ramblings from a demented McToon. Shut your channel, you're shut down, you're... Really? No, I'm not, you delusional idiot. I'm still very much broadcasting. But for the fact that you, zealots, feel the need to shut us down, it wouldn't be the case that I'd have to instruct people to exercise their belief in a ball. You're allowed. Everyone's entitled to their belief. But you know that we're right. You know that Earth's measured flat, and it really stings. And the only way you can deal with that is by shutting us down, or trying to. Pathetic. But it's telling. The public at large see that sort of shit and go, why? Got one side that says, have whatever belief you like. Earth will still be measured flat. Do what you like. Run your YouTube channel. I hope it feeds your kids. What's that? You want to shut your channel, shut your? Why? Why can't you get on with your day with your globe belief, McToon? Is it just too painful for you? Yeah, it is. I know it is. Otherwise you wouldn't be, shut your channel, you're shut! Would you? But you do, because that's the only way you can cope, by trying to get rid of the awful truth. Now, if the ball was true, that wouldn't be necessary. You'd just be saying, as I say, yeah, I can believe in a flat earth if you like. Won't change how ball-shaped the world's measured. If it was, it isn't. It's measured flat.
Yeah, and we promoted that whole Antarctica thing, right? We went live that day. We were just interested in what was going on because we knew it was measured flat. We knew what they would find. And he decided to call your show and scream into the microphone or the phone in the whatever they were in. Let's say they were in Antarctica and it was snowing and cold. He screamed, there are no guns. Where's the guns, Nathan? We were just demonstrating that we were interested, right? We supported them. Where's the guns? Oh, you asked him about the measurements. That's right. Yeah, that hurts sometimes.
Yeah,
the thing is, what we're doing now. Sorry, no.
No, you good.
Just saying the thing, what we're doing now, showing these normies, like we're saying, we're showing just normal people measuring Earth flat, flying airplanes, treating Earth as flat, like you do. Trigonometry, triangulation. We're showing normal people measuring Earth flat and dealing with Earth flat. You know, that's what everybody does. That's what we're highlighting. That's what we're pointing out. These people aren't getting angry when they're showing you how the sun's altitude is measured from a horizontal plane. They're just telling you how it's done. You need the horizontal constant, don't you, Jim?
Yeah, you certainly do. You certainly do need the horizontal constant because that's where you live, you see. But I won't be. I don't care if they want to believe in the globe. That's up to them. I'm not going to go onto their servers though or their channels to support them. No, I'm not going. You won't find me there doing that. But you want to carry on thinking you're on a globe? Good luck to you. That's all I'll say there.
Well, speaking of servers, currently the public gateway is Discord, and it has been for quite some time. And the reason Discord is being used as the public gateway is because I had to change from using Google+, formerly known as Hangouts on Air. And the reason I had to change was because Hangouts on Air was connected to the social media section for Google Hangouts. So like Teams or Discord itself, you as a member of the public could join Google Hangouts and effectively take control of Google Hangouts on Air, my public gateway at the time. Now, back in the day, that meant that people who heard about Earth being flat and saw that we were broadcasting about it felt the need to join my show via the public gateway and then play pornography while the show was continuing in an attempt to get the show shut down. Again, to stop me from making a living, they played pornography. So to combat that, I now have a very convoluted, complex system in place that allows you, the general public, to join this show. You can click on the link that's below this video, like I say in every single intro, and it will currently at least take you to the flip side which is the Discord server used to offer the public a gateway to the show. And that's always been the case. If it's Hangouts on Air or Discord, whichever it may be, there's always been the facility to allow you, the general public, or in the case of the example we're currently making, McToon, to join the show. So we can rant about shut your channel, shut your, and where are the guns, via that public gateway. Now, Discord, the one that we're using at the moment, is new. That is to say, Divergent Droid set it up several months ago, but hasn't really been using it in earnest until recently. Now, if you did want to join the show, or indeed chat, because I don't use Discord for that purpose, literally the only thing I need from Discord is currently being offered to me via what we have, which is called the FED voice chat, which means that you, as a member of the public, can click the link, get voice verified, that is to say, check you've got a working microphone and that you're not just there to spam, and then you can join the show. Express your views on the nature of Earth, like I say in every single intro. So that is the purpose of Discord for me currently. Moreover, if you did want to join the current Discord server, which is called The Flip Side, run by Divergent Droid, if I could say it, then all you need to do is click that link that's below this show, and you can join that server. Then you can, if you choose to, take part in the voice, text, chats, whatever it is that's available to you in that server, like any of the servers that I join. My desired use for that server, or any server that I utilize, because I don't own a server and probably never will, is that I've got that public gateway. That's all it's there for me. To offer you, the general public, a way to get on the show, a means of communicating directly with the panel and with myself about the nature of Earth. Now, that facility has been there since the show has begun. There's always been the ability for you, the general public, to join the show and directly say, no, when you say Earth is measured flat because you've just covered a video where the guy's measuring Earth flat, that doesn't mean it's flat. Just because he's measuring it flat doesn't mean Earth's flat. What kind of an idiot are you? You can do that if you choose to.
Nathan, hold on. It sounds like your show, it's been a war against your show from the start. My goodness.
Say that again.
It seems like there's been a war against your show from the start. I remember that time. I was a listener, and I remember them coming in and porn bombing you, and that's why you had to have two panels.
Yeah.
It seems like you're onto something there. Everybody's fighting against you. Get this channel off the air.
Yes.
We're over the target.
Yeah, because Earth's measured flat. Now, we haven't got there when people were porn bombing me or trying to usurp the Google Hangouts on Air that I used to live stream before I had OBS. But the awful truth was obviously simmering just below the surface the whole time. And the only way you can deal with that if you're a normie and you want to believe you're on a ball is to shut your channel, shut your, like Toon attempted. Well, that's pathetic. Nobody's out there, we aren't out there, saying you need to shut down your Globe channel because you've got a religion that you're punting on the entire, I was about to say Western world, but it's the entire world. I'm not trying to shut you down. If you want to be a Scientologist, you are entitled to be a Scientologist. If you want to be a heliocentric believer and believe that you're on a ball flying around the sun because you've taken flat Earth measurements and mathematically created a ball to put in orbital motion around the sun after you've derived the flat Earth measurements to do so, you can. I'm not going to come along to your channel and say, you must stop. You're poisoning the world with heliocentric religious beliefs. Nah, you can do what you like. If that's how you make your money, more power to you. If you're out there spewing your religious rhetoric about being on a ball flying around the sun, okay, I'm not going to try and stop you. Why would I do that? Live and let live. What's that? You need me to shut your channel, shut your? Yes, because Earth's measured flat. And that's absolutely intolerable to people who've got a religious belief that they're on a ball.
Yeah.
I was up.
Sorry, one day. Yeah. So you're going to need a horizontal constant in order to be a glober. That's all I was going to say. So, and please do come onto the show and explain yourself.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Jin. Sorry to interrupt. We said it yesterday, me and the lads, like, after watching that video yesterday of the guy, after 15 seconds explaining how you measure the sun altitude using the horizontal plane that you're standing on, and our comments about you're not actually in the center of the globe doing this. That's just pathetic and impossible. It'd be nice to have somebody like a globe believer on who, after listening and watching the video and listening to our comments, which was just nice, normal comments pointing out the contradictions and the errors the guy was talking about and explaining about the protractor view on the horizontal plane you're standing on. Get somebody who believes in not coming on shouting about levels curved and horizontal. Point out where you think how you're seeing this differently than us, or how it's not correct what we're pointing out the obvious in a nice, controlled conversation manner. We'll listen to you. We will listen to you.
Yeah, but they're not gonna be able to get past the horizontal constant.
Well, nobody can, and so. As soon as they say, "Well, I can't," I'm not a mind reader, I've not got a crystal ball, but they've seen that the horizontal constant is being used. So there is no curvature whatsoever in that video, or description, or demonstrations of the sun's altitude being measured.
Yeah,
because you flat earthers can't math.
Well, the closest they come to a curve, if you see this description on screen, obviously north and the direction towards the sun are both opposed to each other. One is 90, one is it's off screen now. Okay, if you look at this diagram, the closest you can come to describing any curve is the angle that you measure to the sun around a protractor that you would look through to measure that angle and give it a value. That's the conversion from a flat plane with your north, south, east and west on it, as described in this diagram, to a spherical system based on the protractor that you've used to measure the angles from the flat plane to things like Polaris or the sun or whatever it is you're measuring in the sky, normally a twinkling light. But that curvature is what becomes the claim to be surface of Earth that you must stand within to actually make measurements of angles to the lights in the sky. In other words, Earth as a sphere is nothing more than a glorified protractor.
That's absolutely. I can't get my head round how people are looking at that, listening to what you're saying, listening to what the actual, the guys on the videos are saying this, what we're reviewing, but that highlighting that is an impossibility. That guy, he's not in the center of a globe Earth. I mean, we all know that, yeah? Let's just make that very clear. That's absolutely ridiculous. He's on a flat horizontal plane. The dome over him, the protractor view, what Nathan's just explained, is your perspective vision. That's how it works. Yeah, that's it. He's on a flat horizontal plane, and that's the angle, depending on the position of the lights in the sky, how you would view them.
Yeah,
I'm just sorry, Jim. Go on, I'm finished, mate.
Sorry. Yeah. We laughed about that yesterday. That we would say to the guy, get into the center of the Earth and then start doing it, please, because you're talking about being on the Earth here, but you're not actually in the center. Can you get in the center, please, now?
You can't
move.
You can't, but you can measure with respect to the surface level for the angle, and you can describe the angles through a curved protractor, and then claim that that's the surface of the Earth that you're standing in. But the surface of Earth will still be inside the ball and depicted as a flat plane. Here's what the guy was covering yesterday with altitude and azimuth. The measurement in degrees to the sun with an elevation angle, and considering north as 0 degrees, the azimuth angle of the flat plane, circular, to describe that as a positional piece of information. Those two measurements both require the surface be flat. That is how Earth is measured. With that, I'm going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering Streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow.
Onto it right from the beginning. But let's be honest.
But
when I first heard the Flat Earth Debate Show, I was like, wow, this is it. I need to be coming here. This is going to feed my desire to get more knowledge, and this is where I'm going to plant my freaking flag. Because the stuff coming out of here was I wasn't hearing it anywhere else, you know? So constantly going to be people trying to take down the show.
On that note, are you impressed with the Flipside Discord server? Considering...
Yes, and I hope you stay there.
Well,
absolutely.
It does exactly what I want, right? I said this in the show, but all I needed to do is provide an efficient means of people being able to just join. That's it. That's all I want it to do. And within 24 hours of Divergent Droid saying, "Oh, I've got a new server, can you promote it?" I've managed to get a link off him. All of the moderation abilities that I require, I've got. And it just works. I can't really... the rest of the server, in terms of what happens inside it, who's annoying who in the text chat, I don't care about any of that stuff. I never used it in any of the servers I've been in. And I don't care about it. Literally, I couldn't care less. But if it works as a public gateway, that's all I concern myself with. And it does. It just worked. Within, I don't know, 10 minutes of being in the show yesterday, Divergent Droid had it completely pegged. Everything worked. He's just joined, actually. Hey, Divergent Droid. Just giving you props for having a very slick Discord server that just works.
Yeah, welcome, sir. Welcome. Yeah, nice. Sterling work again. You know, I was saying 2 weeks ago that I want more people from the streets coming in. We need them coming in. Well, you've done it. Well done, man.
Thank you, gentlemen. Much appreciated.
My ME64 has arrived at my parcel shop, so I'm going to have to disappear temporarily and go get it. We're back shortly.
Go ahead. I want to say something anyway. Well, I felt it's necessary to do a total separation. That's what I feel, because I know for a fact that they're siding with the other side, and you can't be coming out of the same freaking room as people that are opposing you. It just can't happen that way. And I was being censored in main text chat by Righteous Force, and that's not right. I shouldn't be censored. I wasn't calling anybody an idiot. I was just standing by and supporting Nathan as Chewie was coming out with his nonsense of what supposedly happened. No, I'm going to be there to tell the audience what did happen, because I can. I was there. I was at every session. I have that right. And he stripped me of that right. And he still hasn't released a ban. I'm still banned from every single chat in FED, main text chat, not QE's text chat, FED, main text chat. I cannot say a word in there. So that is not fair, number one. Number two, I'm here since 2019, since COVID. That's when I joined the show. I should have some sort of respect where I'm not violating any rules. So I hope and I pray that this is the only Discord server that we come out of from now on.
Yeah, well said, Neil. But is there any difference with this, with DD's, this? I don't know much about this. So does it work as the Righteouses did, or is this working differently? What does Nathan mean? Are there different people coming into this server than the other one? What's going on?
Yeah, Divergent, if you could answer that, that would be good.
I've seen some new people coming in. Some people I've never seen before. They'll be here. Listen, it only goes as far as we promote it. Nathan's always said that. And I have to say AI did the same thing. I used to resist AI Overlord, but he was right. It's what you promote in the comments. You don't like something, put a comment in and bring them over to our server.
Yeah.
Well, like you say, if there's new people, genuine people coming in, it would be good to get them on the show and have a chat. Not a full-blown argument and where we can't each other talk, but as long as that the adults with some common sense and logic, and they've got, they might have a belief system, or they might think they have some evidence to put forward. They might just want to learn something that they're just starting to look into these things about the shape of the Earth and what we've believed and been taught all our lives, and now that might not be true. So, which is a big deal, because wow, what? It's a lie, the shape of the Earth. How can that be? That's impossible. it's a big shocker if you start thinking about this in the first instance. So, come on board and have a chat. Introduce yourself and come and have a chat.
Yeah, as long as you've got decorum, then no problem. You can come in and be concise and coherent about what you want to explain about the globe and your evidence, your proof. You
hit it right there, Jim. You hit it right on the head. Claim, support, demonstrate. That's we want three things from you. We don't want ad homs. We want your claim, nice and clear and concise. We want support for your claim, and it doesn't end there. You have to demonstrate. Claim, support, demonstrate. That's only fair, right? Because we have claims, but we support our claims and we demonstrate our horizontal constant.
Constant.
Do we not, Jin?
Yes, we certainly do. Yeah, it's unavoidable. It's as prevalent as the air you breathe, without a doubt. It is inescapable. You are living on a flat earth, and I'll lay my life on it. No problem.
Yeah, it's an axiomatic principle to the place where you live. That's simple as that.
The only way you can get elevation profiles. You can't get elevation profiles off a globe. It just does not work.
So the year 2026, the year of the horizontal constant, and that will continue until the end of time.
Well, the reason why it'll continue is because it's a truth, and it's always been a horizontal constant.
That's right. That is exactly right. The creator of the earth, God, the creator of the earth, didn't create a spherical ball hurtling through the universe at 2.2 million miles per hour, covering 19.2 billion miles in a year, supposedly, and you're still looking at the same stars, constellations. Okay. Keep dreaming, ladies and gentlemen. Keep dreaming.
That's well said, Jim. That's why we...
Go ahead, Wanda.
That's why we're doing the normie videos a little bit, because we've been doing it for a year or so now, saying what horizontal is and 0 degree baseline, sea level, altitude. We've been saying this on the show, but people have been saying, well, you're just, we're demonstrating now that it's not just us. We're just sort of explaining how everybody deals with Earth, how it's measured. That's what we're showing now. It's not us.
Breaking up a little bit on deck. You're a little choppy. But not only we, but they've been doing it too.
Yeah, the professionals, the tradesmen.
We're not saying it, they're saying it.
Yeah.
We're doing what they say.
They earn their living by it. Okay? Right. It's a profession. Measuring Earth flat is a profession, ladies and gentlemen. And that goes to tell you, have another look, have a rethink, sit down, relax, start to take it apart bit by bit. What proof do you have of this globe? Where did you see this curvature? Did you go and measure it to confirm it? Go back to that location and revisit and try to confirm and validate. Yeah.
That's
got to do it.
Sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead.
I'm still choppy, just tell me. If somebody who truly believes they live on a globe and they don't want that dream destroyed, but take some time out, like Gin's just said, relax, don't fight it straight away, and think to yourself, right, regardless of what you've seen on TV, the NASA, what you've been taught in school, think to yourself, right, how is Earth measured? Because that's what we're talking about. It's a measurement. It's nothing to do with anything else. It's nothing to do with the sunset, constellations, eclipses, boats appearing to disappear over the horizon, which isn't a physical location and never has been. It's nothing to do with any of that. It's to do with the measurement. So meditate on that calmly. Get some books. Get as much information as you can. Ask people questions. How was it measured? Who measured it? What method is used for the measurement?
I could tell you. They can go right to Psalm 19, and you have God saying their line has gone out through all the earth. He didn't say the curve has gone out around the Earth. He said the line has gone out through all the Earth. That's the measurement.
Yeah. Not only that, when we ask people on the streets who do come in from time to time, especially in other servers that I go on, who measured the surface of the Earth, right? And how was it done? They always bring up Aristophanes or Eratosthenes, which is what I like that pronunciation more so than Aristophanes, right? And he actually just assumed everything. It was all based on assumptions, okay? And that was 2,500 years ago. So then I have to ask you, hang on a second, what about in modern times, please? Where's the modern times measurement? Because it cannot be that in the year 2025, with all this nanotechnology, we're not able to measure a single degree of curvature, but a man in a loincloth and battered sandals did it. No, that does not match. So can you please give me modern times? And they're not able to do that.
I agree with your sentiment, but he did measure it flat.
Yeah, of course.
He measured it.
That's why he assumed it was a globe. He had to.
Yeah,
he was hit. Hang on. He was hit with the horizontal constant, and then he just had to lie.
Right. But exactly, he assumed. But during his assumptions, he was doing something. Just a flat plane, the horizontal constant.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh, though, sometimes, like the globers will say, these flat earthers, that's just an old, archaic belief system. And then when you ask them for their globe proof, they give you a flat earth measurement from over 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, 2,500 years ago. And and then you ask them for a modern time, and they can't give you one. And then here we are now. In the last 2 weeks, we've been watching professional tradesmen, right, earning their living measuring flat Earth.
The horizontal constant.
Yeah,
we went through a video a few weeks ago. I know there was a couple of discrepancies in there, like there is with all these videos, because a lot of these people we're watching, they're describing how it's measured flat in one breath and then telling you that it's a globe in another. But the actual demonstration, because I'm saying this because the modern version that they'll throw at you the answer will be GPS. Now, when you look at how GPS works...
No, that's a grid system.
Yeah, it's a 2D grid system. It works the same as celestial navigation, using circles of equal elevation, radius lines in between 3 points, and it narrows it down to find a position. Now, they say these satellites in space do it. Forget that. That's another story about space and the vacuum of space. What I'm trying to say is the procedure of GPS is not measuring curvature. It's done on a grid system with 3 points and circles of equal elevation or altitude to get your point. Now, whatever's being used for that, transmitters and receivers, where they are, is irrelevant, but the use of it and how it's being achieved is not measuring curvature. GPS does not measure curvature.
Yeah, but that's what they would say. They just used to throw that out there, but we have a knowledge, and we know, just like One Deck laid it out, it's a 2D grid system. Right. And when they measure it, it's all measured flat, off a flat surface. Just the word circles of equal altitude, circles of equal elevation. Just digest what that means for a second. That means equal elevation throughout. And that could be thousands of miles, all flat, plane, horizontal, constant.
No elevation higher than the other, all level horizontal. That's what that means here. GPS, ground positioning system. Earth is not a globe, you see, so you can't call it global. It's the horizontal constant.
Well, let's be professional
from the ground.
Jim, let's be professional. Geographical positioning system.
Yeah, that's even better.
So just to go over that, then we've given an example of 2,000 years ago. We'll give you some proof of globe, we're told, and then we'll talk them through that and point out the presuppositions that the moon looks spherical, so we'll presume the Earth is spherical. How can we measure the circumference? Well, we'll measure some angles and between two distances, which is a linear measurement, by the way, and then divide it into a 360 a presupposed sphere. That's what happened. We can talk you through that in detail. So that's not a curvature measurement. It was a flat Earth measurement with some mathematics involved to get you a circumference. And if you jump forward to what we've just been speaking about, the up-to-date version, GPS, we've just explained, Neil just highlighted it and finished it off. It's a 2D grid system using circles equal elevation. So there's an old version and a new version, nothing to do with curvature measurements. We've got no curvature measurements. We've been looking for them for a while, you know, and we can't find them.
We've had 10 years scrutinizing that, 10 years, all the while just been met with extended horizontality everywhere, hence the horizontal constant, because that's what we're constantly finding.
So
Okay.
you're
Sorry to
saying in the
interrupt.
process of looking for curvature, you found it all measured flat.
Yeah, it was just extended horizontality everywhere. And that's the beauty of the flat Earth.
Sorry, can I just
Its
check this?
simplicity is its beauty, ladies and gentlemen.
Can I just check this works? This is an ME64 cardioid shotgun microphone. What do you think?
Yeah, that's crystal clear, man. Crystal
Sounds
clear.
great.
That's beautiful.
Cool, because it goes with something I've already bought. So I've decided to make something I've already got more saleable by buying an extra bit for it. And this is that extra bit. So it'll all get packaged in like a nice carry case. So the carry case was like 30 quid as a separate thing, or this with this mic, 55 quid. So I thought, well, I'll buy it and I'll split it all up and make it into a nice complete package. Anyway, so this is the Sennheiser K6 and ME66. Very cool, huh?
Sound great.
Sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Crystal clear. Very nice. Whoever gets that
Crystal
one.
clear, like what we've been saying about the measurements.
I mean,
There's no fog. It's crystal clear.
it's almost got a vocal horizontal constant to it. You know what I mean?
I think
Yeah, I
that's
know-
a stretch.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Neil said it, a bit of a stretch. Well, when you stretch it out, it's just extended horizontality. That's all we're finding, baby. Constant horizontality. Unavoidable, like the air you breathe.
Yeah, there's no gray areas here.
No.
Everything's black and white. All we're
Yeah.
talking about is measurements.
Yeah. If the air is there, horizontal constant is there, right there with it. It can't be there without it.
But like we said, we're wanting people to maybe come and comment on the videos and point out where we're wrong about what we're saying, that everything has got the horizontal constant for the elevation angle measurements. That's a fact. Now, the one we did on the trig, even the gentleman who was doing the trig and triangulation, I think someone left a comment on his off that video, and he replied, I think something in the sort of term of Nathan doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Now, that's not what we're after. We want we want a counter argument or a conversation to point out what we don't understand. Because we went through your video in great detail, explaining, and you was explaining how Earth's measured flat, not us. We was just showing it to an audience, and you did a great job of it. And now when someone's pointed out what you was doing, you've said that Nathan doesn't understand, but you've not highlighted or gone into that in any detail. We want you to go into more detail of when you're measuring flat and demonstrating how that's done, how that isn't what you're doing. But please.
Yeah. Can you elaborate where we don't understand, to be exact? Elaborate on that point. We don't understand what, please. Yeah, he's embarrassed. What it was, ladies and gentlemen, the guy was embarrassed. He embarrassed himself because the Flat Earthers highlighted how he was measuring Flat Earth and promoting Flat Earth as he's speaking. And he didn't even realize he was doing it. And then when we brought it to him, now we don't understand. Really? You best come and tell us what we don't understand.
The problem is we do understand, and he knows it.
Yeah.
It was funny. I put it in Master B, but just no big deal. I just quickly was looking at a McKeegan's video popped up. Didn't watch it all, but he was talking about how flights don't work in the southern hemisphere, and I don't something about that. But I thought, well, that's irrelevant, because if you're talking about flight, you're obviously talking about being
The
in straight
horizontal
level.
constant.
Well, yeah, you're being in straight and level flight over sea level. So that was my comment to Dave McKeegan, saying, would that be straight and level flight over sea level, Dave? Now his response is, oh, so you're dodging that you can't determine straight flight without an accurate map. Now, I didn't mention anything about maps. Yeah, just like something else. He goes on. And then he said, this is funny though. In the meantime, what did he say? He's obviously been listening to the...
Wait, is he using it? Is he using something other than a map?
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll tell you in a minute. So, but it's put, in the meantime, one day, why don't you explain to everybody how you don't understand what sea level? And he's put, sorry, I mean sea level. So he's obviously been listening to that point. So I've put to Dave, you may have watched the straight and level flight video we covered on FED. If not, I'll paste it here for you. It demonstrates how the pilot maintains straight and level flight using the wings horizon on objects in the distance. This was demonstrated on the video without the pilot using instruments inside the cockpit or use of a map. Regarding sea level, sorry, I mean sea level, it is the 0-degree baseline for all measuring all elevation profiles on our Earth. It's not level. It's level, not curved.
Yeah, instead of wasting, sorry, Edwin, instead of McKeegan wasting time in the comments, why don't you come on the show? What's the problem, man? What are you frightened of? Yeah? Because you know you're going to get your pants pulled down and your bum smacked raw. That's why you won't come on the show.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just pointing out, is maintaining straight and level flight, you don't need a map.
No,
it was on the video. The guy was getting the pilots to get the head out of the plane, if you like. Use that terminology. Don't look at the instruments on the plane. Look, they're using a distance on the dash in front of them, and they've got a distance to the horizon. If it's that distance there, you're straight and level. If your nose down, you're going to drop. If your nose up, you're going to rise. You're going to use the wings, looking outside the windows to maintain. You're going to use the horizon, which is reference to surface level, to maintain straight and level flight. You're not using a map to do that. You're using the horizon and your vision. You're looking outside the plane. Yeah.
Sorry, you're quoting pilots when you say straight and level, because aircrafts as a standard are configured with a 3 degrees nose upwards, right? That's to facilitate smooth airflow across the wings to generate that lift, right? That's why they're configured in that way. But the pilots still refer to their flight as straight and level. That's what they say.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean curved trajectory. Curved trajectory is not straight and level. Two separate things, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So, McKeegan, can you get in here? Where are you? Get your ass in here.
Indeed. And with that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.